I work with mostly men in my clinical practice, and one of the things that keeps becoming more and more prevalent is after a breakup, guys have a lot more trouble getting back on their feet. They suffer in silence the emotional impact. And this is why a lot of times after a breakup, you'll read about or hear about men who ended their life. It's because for the most part, men are socialized to keep it in, to be quiet. Anytime you talk about it, anytime you would weep about it or cry about it or share about it, emasculates men. It makes them feel weaker, makes them feel more out of place in this world. And so they keep it in. They go out with their buddies, and what do their buddies recommend? You need to get laid, or let's go hang one on. And they drink. And when you drink and you're feeling depressed, guess what? You're going to get even more depressed. And we also look at violence. We, instead of talking about stuff, a guy will get a release from punching a hole in the wall, or he'll go to the gym and box, or he'll do something very physical. Those are all good, but the way you move through any kind of sadness or anger or just feeling totally like a failure is you have to feel it. And when you feel it, you've got to talk about it. It's got to come out. You can't hold it in and then carry it with you to your next relationship and hope that one will go better, because it won't. That's not how relationships work. So I compiled a list of things men should do after a breakup that will not only fit into their society, but I think if you practice these things, you're going to get some relief. Of course, going to a therapist is going to help you most because they're going to hold you accountable, and they're actually going to help motivate you to go through these things. But if you feel self-motivated, if you are one of those lucky guys who has a great support system, I think this might help you a lot. The first thing is nest. Take time to look at your environment, where you are. Maybe you're going to move after you break up. Maybe you're going to stay there, whatever it is. Open the cupboards and stock them. Go to the grocery store, stock them with good food, healthy food. If you're going to eat soups or whatever you're going to eat, start planning what you put into your body more. Not only physically, but we're going to talk about the thoughts you put into your body and everything else. So when you start with nesting, you start with self-care. What old stuff has to be thrown out of the closet? You know, what do you want to put up on the walls? Do you need to put the pictures of the person you broke up with upside down on the table for a while? Maybe not throw them away, but just keep them out of sight. Buy some indoor plants. When you have plants, it creates a home environment, because the number one thing most guys say is she took her stuff. She took her stuff with her, and now it's empty. So your idea is you have to fill it with some healthy things. You don't have to put knickknacks in it and all this other stuff, but you do need some things that are going to inspire you going forward, and plants can do that. Move stuff around. If it was in a way that was typically her, try to move it. Try to get used to this new feel. This is an opportunity for you to start over. Secondly, go easy on the alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant, and when you drink it, you might have a temporary numbing, but it's not going to help you process the feelings. If anything, it's going to take you down further. When you're not inhibited by your own sensors, you're going to call her again or do something that's going to set you backwards. You're going to have a one-night hookup, or you're going to talk to somebody that makes you feel worse about it. Just keep alcohol away from you for a couple weeks, or as long as you can. You're going to find that it really helps you go through this better. Next, get a relaxing massage. Yes, it is okay for guys to get a massage. Call a place that you've heard about it or you've been interested and go. When you're touched like that and you're working out some of those knots, getting relaxed, that's going to really help. If you're not into massage, try a yoga class. Once again, it's the breathing, it's the slowing down, it's the mindfulness. Get your mind out of where it is, which is a good thing, and changes your perspective. Invite friends over to wherever you're living now and cook a meal. You might say, well, that's not my thing. Well, then call and order. Just have them over and be a host. When you're a host, your mind is on hosting. And when your friends are there, it's going to help you get into the role of serving, of taking care of someone else. So you don't have to focus on what this person did to you. Be curious about other people. Talk to them. Don't assume. Talk to them about what's going on and ask them. Ask them what they think, because a lot of times we're so critical of ourselves, judging ourselves, telling us we failed at this relationship. And when you actually are curious, other people might give you insight. You know, I heard them do this once, or I saw them roll their eyes once, and I knew they had anger or undealt with issues, because that's a very passive-aggressive sign of anger. When someone tells you that, you can start seeing these things were subtle, but they were real. Yes, she might have loved me, but it couldn't have gone on like this because she wasn't emotionally mature enough either to deal with what was happening with us. When you talk to your friends, be honest. Tell them you're hurting, or tell them that you're trying healthy habits this time. You're trying to catharsis this stuff. Many times they'll say, well, let's go for a walk and talk about it, or let's go to the gym and talk about it. You'll be surprised how people will reach out and be healthier with helping you deal with your emotions. They're going to watch you, and however you react is what they're going to do. If you're going to withdraw, they're going to start leaving you alone, and you don't want that right now. You want your friends and family close. Prioritize adequate sleep. It's not girl-like or feminine to try and go without sleep. Guys need as much sleep as women do, and when you're going through a breakup, that's affecting your immune system. You're more prone to getting sick. If you can make yourself get adequate sleep, start winding down at night, get off your gadgets, it's going to really help you heal with this, strengthening you from the inside out. And process the guilt and shame. Sometimes you're going to need a therapist for that, but it's important that you understand this relationship did not work out, and it probably didn't work out for good reasons. But that doesn't mean you're a bad person, doesn't mean you won't love again. It simply means this was broken, and it was unresolvable at this time with what you know in your life. And lastly, behave in ways that are consistent with your values. Going forward, own what you did, take responsibility for it, learn from it, and then set your values. If you're looking for someone who's totally transparent, totally honest, can tell you anything, then keep that value and make boundaries that protect that. Don't go with someone who just wants to hook up. Don't go with someone who is passive or goes along with you just so you won't break up with them. Go for someone that you can rely on, who is confident, who's going to have a good, open heart, be transparent, and want a relationship they can love so that they want to protect it as much as you do. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.